Nope.
Alright, what is up you guys? It's James from James Reptiles, and in today's video I'm going to be feeding my snakes. It's actually been 13 days since I fed my snakes. I usually feed them every Saturday. I kind of just forgot last Saturday, and it's whatever, they're snakes. Not that you shouldn't take good care of your snake, but they can go without eating. You know, I've checked them since then, I've given them fresh water, I've cleaned their water dishes since then. I just haven't sat down and fed them. So I'm going to be doing that today, and because there was a gap, they're probably all pretty hungry. So let's see what's up. And of course, this will throw their schedule off from off Saturdays, so I'll probably feed them next Friday, because I'll have the whole day off preparing for the show, and then Saturday I'll be at the show, so I won't be able to feed them. And then I'll just throw them for a loop and go 8 days next week, and then feed them on Saturday again. As one does, right? So let's hop into that and get her going real quick. Alright, so this is my girlfriend Sherry's corn snake. It is an ice tessera corn snake. It's been eating 2 pinkies consistently for a while now. The one size mouse that I need is fuzzies. So I've got some that I'm raising up. Oh, here comes. Yep. Oh, aggressive. Oh, a little mouse hand. Left its little mouse hand over here. But like I said, I need some more fuzzies. And I produce my own mice, but because the corns are cooled right now, I didn't want to overproduce, and I think I would have, so I underproduced on purpose, and that allowed me to not have to clean the mice as often, not have to spend a bunch of food on them. But I'm at that point where I'm starting to heat them back up, not heat them back up because they're not on heat, but grow my colony right back up. And so some of the babies are going to be future females, and some of them are going to be fuzzy feeders. So let's grab the 2 kings and the Vietnamese Blue Beauty, and we'll keep going. A little bonus clip. I fed this guy for the first time the other day. He hasn't eaten in like 2 weeks. He ate 2 crickets, a mealworm, and then I said, you know what, that's enough. I'll let him go. And then he came charging at the wall at me. So I offered him superworm, and he ate that. And the next thing I know, he was in his water dish, and it looks like he took a big dookie in his water dish. And this corn snake's gonna take a second pinky, because it's a corn snake and they always eat everything. So with a little teasing, it definitely opened its mouth and started eating. I get a new battery. This battery does not last very long at all. We did buy some more batteries for this camera, and this supposedly, based on the size of the battery, should last like 3 times longer, which is good because the show is coming up, and I'm definitely gonna have. I will definitely need those for the show. I plan on recording a lot. So with that corn, I think once we move on to something with a little bit more size and a little bit more fur, we'll definitely see it explode, because it has been eating 2 pinkies a week for a little bit now. I know it wasn't pushed as a baby. It was kind of like, oh, it's a baby. It'll keep it as a baby as long as possible. One of those type deals, which I understand. But next up is my Vietnamese Blue Beauty, and you can see she's out and about. She's definitely hungry. She's a great eater, and no matter what, if she doesn't eat off the tongs, if I leave it in there, she will eat it overnight. So let's feed her next, shall we? I like to go from smallest to biggest. It kind of works out with the mice. Like I said, she's definitely hungry. Look at her out and about. This is a good sized meal for her. She definitely likes that movement. No, I don't. She might not strike at it. She doesn't normally strike at it. It's more of like a corn snake grab, or I'll leave it in for her. Though the adult corn snakes, man, I can't wait to get those back and feeding on the channel. Those things eat like crazy. Come on. I can't wait to have that one corn snake an adult, so that way even when I put the corn snakes down for the winter, every winter, I'll be able to feed that one on camera for you guys over the winter, because that one's not going to be breeding, so come on. Oh geez, I did not expect that at all. Oh man. So this is Esmeralda. She was so calm for so long. I'm gonna cut most of that out, but this whole clip's 2 minutes long. I'm sure the point you're watching it's like a minute something, like a minute 15. But yeah, I've been sitting here for 45 seconds wiggling it, and all of a sudden out of nowhere she just struck super fast. So I'm gonna put the lid on as gently as I can. She'll probably, if what's either gonna happen is I'm gonna put it on before she gets her head around it enough, and she's gonna let go, look at me, ignore it for an hour, and then eat it. Or I can wait until she has at least a big chunk of it down and put the lid on, and then she'll finish up and keep going with her day. So either way. So up next are my California king snakes, het albinos. These ones are such fussy eaters. I don't ever expect them to eat on camera. If they do, you'll just see them pull the mouse in through the hide. But most of the time, I just kind of leave it there, and maybe 50% of the time, they'll actually take the prey item overnight. If they don't eat it the next day, if the corns are up, I'll feed it to the corns. When the corns are down like they are right now, I'll usually give it to the Blue Beauty if it's not too decayed. You want to be really careful feeding off something the next day. It's not the best thing to do, but if you're somewhat experienced like I am, you can kind of tell when the mouse is okay to feed still and when it's not. Yeah, this girl's not gonna be interested, so I'm gonna leave it there. And she's got a nice pattern, but when these two make babies, one out of 4 babies will be albino. I definitely will probably be keeping back all the females from that clutch, from the first clutch. Hopefully I get a high number of albino females. And of course the best eaters will be holdbacks. Any het albinos will probably just be given away because in the state of California that is the law. If it's not a visual albino, you cannot sell it. So without a propagation permit, which I do not have and I don't intend on getting. So either way. These two adult California king snakes can be quite tricky. This male up top, he must have outgrown his hide because he loved, always would never come out of his hide. He loved to stretch out inside of it and make his body into all sorts of weird shapes, hugging the edges of it. But he's been out the last 2 times, so he must be outgrowing it. I'll have to get him something just like a big empty hide. But he only eats black mice, and he'll rarely ever take them off the tongs. I usually have to leave it in overnight. He seems like he might be interested this time though, but he kind of always seems like he'll be interested. Yeah. So I'm just gonna leave it there. And there's no way he's gonna take that by any means. This girl was a sort of a rescue. Some people rescued her from a home, and when she was rehabilitated, she ended up with me. She's got some rat bites on the back of her tail. She has chocolate face California king snake, and sometimes she'll eat adult mice off the tongs, but if she doesn't take them off the tongs, she just won't eat. So let's try to get her to eat, shall we? Come on, right here, right here. Well, go back in. Well, it looks like I'm going to have 2 mice for my ball pythons. I really haven't been feeding my ball pythons rats. They're at steady weights, and it's just not necessary. They don't take every time, so I have no incentive to either breed or buy rats, thaw or throw live rats in and have them not eat, because then it's like, what do I do with the rat? If it's live, I can euthanize it and freeze it and try one other time. But if it's frozen, or if I've already tried live and now it's frozen again, there's no using it after that. So at this point in time, I'm just doing mice. If I see body weight go down a little bit, I'll try to offer some rats. But it's cheaper and easier. It's basically free. I mean, mouse food's super cheap. So let's try the ball pythons, I guess. All right, this first ball python is TJ. TJ never comes out of his hide. Super ball python-like of him. Never comes out of his hide. In fact, there's nothing telling me that he's in there except for the fact that this tub's heavy. Let's take a peek. How you doing in there, bud? Well, I'm gonna leave it right there on top. There's I'd say like a 66% chance he's gonna slither out in the middle of the night or within the hour, climb out and eat that. Last snake, here we go. I forgot to mention that last ball python, TJ. I plan on bringing him to the show. I bought him for a friend who wanted their first pet snake, and that friend decided, no, I don't want a snake. So this is Steve. Steve was my girlfriend's family. Steve's decent about eating. If I leave it in here, probably eat. Steve always flips his water dish. He had clean water yesterday, and it's empty. Maybe he's interested. Well, Steve's not interested. I'm going to leave it in the water dish. The water dish is empty. And I'll come back tomorrow. I'll take it out and I'll clean the water dish out and give him some fresh water. And then I'll just kind of be incentive to make sure I do so. So that's going to be it for today. I love feeding snakes. I think it makes for a pretty educational and entertaining video. In the future, when I have more snakes, I'm slowly expanding my snakes. I'm going to be breeding corn snakes in a year or two. Vietnamese Blue Beauties, I'll be getting at least one more of those. As I get more snakes, snake feeding videos will get better because I won't put in the fussy eaters. I'll just feed other snakes and it'll still fill up that time, if that makes sense. So those are all my snakes that are here, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, the corns are going to come back up in 2 or 3 months. It seems like a long time, but hopefully I'll get them fattened up and they could be breeding in the next season. Anyway, I'm James from James Reptiles. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. All that really helps out the channel. I will be at the Daly City Show, of course, next weekend. Make sure to hit me up on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, jamesreptiles@gmail.com if you have any questions. And check out my Morph Market. There's only 2 geckos on there. When I get back from the show, anything that doesn't sell is going on Morph Market. And the 2 geckos that are on there are going to have updated weights. So, nevertheless, hope you guys enjoyed and have a good one.